Hello all. So today we are talking about facility maintenance, chapter 9, and this is one of 2 in the series. So trying to keep the lectures short, hopefully so that you are utilizing them. All right, so a large sport facility must be constantly maintained and repaired. Some stadiums and arenas have hundreds of restroom stalls. Constant work is needed to keep blocks operating, seats attached, paper, seat cover dispensers stocked, and toilet paper dispensers stocked and operating as well. It's an ongoing task to maintain sufficient water flow, keep toilets unclogged, and even remove graffiti. The maintenance issues can become even more complex in concession preparation areas and in boiler and chilling mechanical areas. Maintenance does not have the same allure as building a large facility. Maintenance increases the value of a field or facility investment, in that it keeps the field or facility working and usable. Without dedicating significant resources to maintaining a facility, the facility will quickly fall apart. Maintenance is the key to operating a safe and clean facility. Operation maintenance normally account for about 5 to 15% of a facility's total expenditure. However, the human resource time and effort are hard to calculate. The repair center at a major stadium can receive hundreds of phone calls during a game for everything from spills to broken door handles. With everything going on in a facility, maintenance can often be pushed aside. The result can be an ugly and unsafe facility. The cost is even greater when routine maintenance is ignored and what could have been a minor repair becomes a major replacement costing thousands of dollars. This is a first glance at a facility that could look great until you look a little closer at it, and you can see that there are things that need to be repaired. This is the historic Yale Bowl, which turned 100 in 2014 and has hosted Yale as well as the New York Giants for several years. While historic and beautiful, the facility is falling apart and cement is eroding, and that can cost millions of dollars in liability as well as repair. So important again that you're keeping up on those types of things. Really, the idea would be to have a comprehensive maintenance program. The hallmark of any maintenance effort is implementation of this comprehensive maintenance and repair plan. Such a plan typically starts with an understanding of what needs to be maintained or repaired, and this can start with an audit. An audit can identify the biggest concerns and the areas needing the greatest amount of time or money. An audit may lead to the conclusion that a maintenance department should be developed. Of course, maintenance is not always the answer, since some items need to be repaired or replaced. But whether the need is for maintenance or repair, any effort must be tracked through the process of benchmarking, which helps determine whether the M&R program is working correctly. Special care needs to be taken regarding certain sport-specific issues, such as maintaining gym floors. Last, the push for environmental-friendly buildings has put pressure on facility managers to maintain their facilities in a more responsible manner. Although some facilities attempt to limit spending on maintenance, the financial effect of such a decision can be disastrous. Some expenses can be minimized, but other expenses that could have been reduced through normal maintenance can in fact increase significantly without regular maintenance. Maintaining a home HVAC system may cost about $500 per year, but failing to maintain it and then having to replace it earlier than would otherwise be necessary could cost thousands of dollars. In a public assembly facility, the replacement cost could be in the millions of dollars. Underfunding maintenance can also lead to building code violations, structural failure, safety and health failures, lower productivity, excessive repair costs, service failures, premature loss, higher absenteeism, and other social costs such as poor morale or increased pollution and harm to employee recruitment and retention efforts. Department funding can produce both tangible and intangible benefits for a facility. The specific keys to an effective M&R program are daily housekeeping, prompt response to needed repairs, installation and execution of a maintenance schedule to prevent premature failures, and completion of major repairs based on the lowest life cycle costs. Other components include identifying improvement projects, lowering energy usage and costs, identifying ways to reduce operating costs, and performing accurate cost estimates for future growth. accurately tracking maintenance work costs, as well as properly scheduling necessary work, maintaining historical data, and maintaining the progress of all M&R efforts. An effective M&R system entails planning and programming, budgeting, staffing, supervising, and evaluating. In planning and programming, a facility examines basic data plans, existing policies, procedures, and standards to establish maintenance policies. And we'll be talking about it next. This planning and programming phase examines what equipment and systems currently exist and how to keep the various elements operating effectively, taking an inventory of the facility and analyzing the facility's deficits. Also in consideration are the basic data, plans, existing policies, procedures, and standards by reviewing owner manuals and warranties to establish maintenance policies. This phase examines what equipment and systems currently exist and how to keep the various elements operating effectively. The facility management team analyzes the work that will be performed and the benchmarking standards or other criteria it wishes to meet. If a restroom stall can be cleaned in 10 minutes, the goal might be for a janitor to clean at least 5 restroom stalls in an hour. Thus, goal setting is a major component in this phase. The facility management team analyzes the work that will be performed and categorizes or prioritizes work by activity class or deficiencies to be done. Developing appropriate standards or benchmarking standards are other criteria it wishes to meet. Besides examining current equipment, facility, and system needs, this phase examines future needs and requires developing short and long-term plans. Part of the planning process also entails tracking industry developments to determine whether more efficient equipment is available. For example, if a refrigerator is working fine but costs $2,000 a year for electrical usage, the planning process may involve exploring more cost-effective machines. Although the evaluation phase deals with whether goals can be reached, the maintenance staff needs to know whether more cost-effective solutions exist. If $2,000 per year is reasonable cost and newer machines do not save money, then the equipment should not be replaced. The planning process classifies work into 6 basic scheduling categories. First is the inspection and repairs, but only when those are absolutely necessary. You have cyclical repairs, such as replacing the roof every 20 years. And then there's preventive maintenance, which is maintaining the equipment or facility according to pre-established plans or standards, such as oiling motors every 100 hours of use. Preventive maintenance is referred to by some as a routine maintenance if the equipment is regularly maintained on a set calendar to prevent problems. It is the pre-breakdown work performed on a facility's equipment and systems to eliminate problems, malfunctions, or breakdowns, or to keep failures within predetermined limits. Thus, preventive maintenance is undertaken after a cost-benefit analysis has shown that more money would be saved through prevention than through replacement of failed systems or equipment. Routine maintenance refers to the day-to-day work required to make sure a facility stays open. For example, an employee must check that toilet paper dispensers are not broken and that toilets are flushing well and the faucets are not dripping. Fixtures may need to be checked before, during, and after each game to identify anything that's not working. Breakdown maintenance, such as when a light bulb burns out or a machine stops running, those things are taken care of as they come available or as they come up. Repair projects, such as ranging from replacing a broken window to major repairs. Major repairs are hard to classify, as a $10,000 repair might be considered minor at one facility and a $100 repair considered major at another. As a general rule, however, any significant project outside the normally budgeted M&R scope would probably be considered major. Maintenance plans can be supplemental with additional procedures such as alterations and janitorial care, which do not necessarily maintain the facility or equipment but enhance its operation. An alteration is a change that allows a facility, system, or piece of equipment to perform a function different from the one it was originally designed for. A restroom can be altered to include a changing table for a baby as a convenience to parents. An improvement increases the functional or productive performance of a facility, system, or piece of equipment. And then there's general and janitorial services, general housekeeping and janitorial services. Janitorial care refers to facility cleanliness and to provide a facility with needed cleaning agents and supplies. The industry term to describe this function is housekeeping, which entails various activities from sweeping and mopping floors and cleaning restrooms to replacing toilet paper or removing trash. Housekeeping includes janitorial, ground maintenance, and operating services as well. Janitorial services primarily refer to cleaning, dusting, waxing, and furnishing of expendable supplies. When examining any maintenance program, special care must be given to unique issues that disrupt the cleaning process. For example, if not properly vented, the moisture in a locker room or kitchen can lead to mold and mildew. Due to indoor air quality, or IAQ, and allergy concerns, mold has become a major concern over the past 10 years. One concern with moisture in a facility is debonding, which occurs when a new floor fails due to moisture problems. A floor can start buckling, which creates a tripping hazard, resulting in an unsightly appearance and can foster mold growth underneath. These concerns are even more prevalent with non-breathable floor products, such as vinyl tile, or when water-based adhesives are used to bond the floor to the cement base. Special chemicals are often used to remove mold and mildew. However, these chemicals can cause allergic reactions in those using them or exposed to them. Maintenance is a critical component of the life cycling or breakdown cycle cost of a system or component in a facility. Budgeting sets the tone for all M&R work developed from the work plan. The overall cost of ownership of a facility starts with the facility's assessment. The assessment examines the physical plant, all the building and their components, the building's condition, and the condition of all the systems within and outside the facility. The actual cost of operation, based on the age of the facility of the system, is compared against benchmark standards. This analysis also examines how well the system supports the facility's mission. Every facility is different, and the overall cost of ownership will vary based on usage, support, materials used, and weather conditions, among a host of other concerns. Ordinarily, less costly alteration and construction projects are usually excluded. Managers utilize historical comparisons, benchmark standards, past budgets, and other techniques to help establish an M&R budget. The budget needs to be realistic and needs to highlight the primary tasks that must be completed immediately. In one analysis of the school repair needed in Florida, a school district had 7,100 backlog safety repairs. 1,800 of the repairs had been on the list for more than 3 years, and 67 safety concerns had been on the list for more than a decade. These projects either were very low priority or were too expensive and beyond the scope of any budget developed over the 10 years. Budgeting is the primary reason why maintenance programs and plans are not often implemented. However, if senior executives can be shown the return on investment from effective maintenance programs, they are likely to be more receptive to allocating necessary funds to support an M&R program. Hiring employees with technical competencies, training workers to accomplish tasks and improve their skills, while both managing in-house and outsourced workers, and possibly even outsourcing for specialized or less expensive workers when you don't have the expertise to take care of it in-house. To reduce M&R costs, where should the budget be cut? If you look at this budget, if you will, payroll consumes about 43% of your M&R department, whereas energy and utilities about 34%, and then you've got equipment and supplies that make up 8%, while outside labor and other costs typically run about 15%. So having an understanding of where you are and compare it to standards as well as historical data is really important. Another approach to proper budgeting is the life cycle cost analysis. Through identifying the lifetime cost of acquiring, installing, maintaining, and repairing a given system or piece of equipment, an executive can determine the life cycle costs. Once these costs are known, an executive can appropriately budget and set aside future funds for future repairs. For example, an HVAC system might cost $20,000 to install, but the lifetime cost might be $30,000. when the annual repair, maintenance, and new filter costs for the next 10 years, if that is how long the system should last, are added together. To cover the additional $10,000 lifetime cost, the manager can budget $1,000 per year for repairs, maintenance, and filters. The following represents a typical example of life cycle cost for a building system. Assume that a 5,000 square foot floor might cost $4.50 per square foot installed. The initial investment would be about $22,500. Assume that the annual maintenance, daily sweeping and mopping, is about $3,000, which includes about both the hourly rate and the cleaning supplies. The floor is expected to last for 30 years, so the total cost of maintenance over the floor's lifespan is $90,000. Further, assume that the floor will require 2 major repairs over the 30 years that will cost around $3,000 each. A life cycle cost analysis gives a facility manager a chance to determine the best options for maintaining a floor over its intended lifespan. The M&R program should be overseen by a manager who will be in charge of all M&R activities, including tracking those activities to make sure that work is accomplished properly and in a timely manner. Staffing entails hiring and managing the right employees to perform the work required by the M&R program. One of the hurdles often encountered in this regard is unionized workforces. Conflict may arise if employees do not want to undertake any extra work not called for in the collective bargaining agreement. The hardest staffing in M&R program is to have the right people doing the right job at the right time. This is much more difficult than it sounds. Although routine maintenance can be planned and is easy to organize with computer maintenance programs, the daily routine often is interrupted by emergencies. Thus, significant time is spent trying to organize workers to accomplish routine tasks as well as respond to emergencies. One additional staffing option is outsourcing. Independent contractors and tradespeople can be hired to handle one-time issues, such as unclogging a blocked sewer line or a long-term commitment made with a company to provide services when needed. For example, a long-term contract can be secured with a landscaping company that plows the parking area whenever there's more than an inch of snow. The key to hiring the right independent contractor is to thoroughly educate them about the facility and its needs so that they know the scope of work required, the quality of work expected, and the price to be paid for the work. Currently it's SSC that we contract through the university, and they are part of housekeeping, but they also are part of landscaping and other contract areas as when we walked with John on the construction build. So staffing is something that is developing an organizational model of the M&R department, creating clear lines of responsibility and authority, analyzing the condition of repaired equipment on M&R, and controlling your budgets and financing, managing your facility information system while also ensuring accountability, ensuring that proper documentation is kept and managed, and utilizing a quality control plan, while administering a tenant relations program and coordinating activities with potential unions as well. We don't have as big of a union here in the South as they do up north. It's just something to be aware of and have an understanding of. It is much more difficult to make sure that the work is actually being accomplished and accomplished correctly. Supervision requires monitoring. Timing is also a major concern. Projects cannot be undertaken if they will conflict with ongoing events. Unless there is an emergency, repairs are not done on a basketball floor during a game. The repairs could be major, but it is preferable to attend to them before and after events. The goal is to minimize the need to shut down the facility or cancel an event. This actually right now is a good time to try to take care of those activities, those projects that need work, and it's possible that you can get them done very quickly in this period of time while everybody's out of the building. So there could be good things and bad things about a shutdown. The goal is to minimize the need for a shutdown and cancel an event. Controlling is necessary in various contexts, from the budget to expenditures to crisis situations. It may be, for example, that a projected that a project is budgeted for $20,000, but after some initial work, the contractor discovers the presence of a hidden problem such as dry rot that will double the cost. I don't know about you guys, but I watch HGTV and it seems like every time they go in to repair something, that there's always something that's hidden that they didn't know about that's going to cost more. And so you just have to have an understanding of that and make sure that you have money aside for that. So supervising requires providing leadership and monitoring workers, managing the workflow, and providing rapid responses to crisis. So you've got to prioritize. Analyzing the effect of the capital budget and developing a comparison within prior budgets. Developing an impact analysis if funds are cut, and identifying and eliminating ways money is overspent on M&R, while organizing all materials and inventory to save money. Allocated budgeting funds to resolve problems and managing your contracting strategies is all part of supervision. You also control and can focus on choosing the right workers who will do the job at the least expensive rate while also providing quality work. Successful controlling can often produce a budgetary windfall, which can free some funds for repairs on the prioritized list. This can be accomplished by close monitoring of time and expenses for various projects and tracking of activity to see how quickly the work can be done. For example, the time required to change a facility over from hockey to basketball can be tracked and the process modified to save time and money. After a number of changeovers and revisions, it might be possible to reduce the process from 4 hours to 3 hours with 20 employees doing the right job at night. This might save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You know, here it talked about choosing the right workers and who will do the job at the least expensive rate. But I'm also really big on making sure that you're paying your employees and valuing your employees as well. Evaluation entails whether the M&R program has been successful. Work orders can be reviewed to determine the amount of time spent on various projects and where the greatest expenses occurred. Another focus is evaluating where the greatest expenses occurred. Another focus is evaluating the performance of employees. For example, a facility manager can plant trash in strategic places to see where the cleaning crew will find, whether the cleaning crew will find and remove it. If the cleaning crew is doing a cursory cleaning job rather than a complete cleaning, corrective steps need to be taken. Through utilizing a comprehensive M&R program, a facility can provide a clean and safe facility at the most reasonable cost. I'm not a big fan of planting trash. It usually will happen, and you can make those evaluations yourself. So evaluating pre-repair and post-repair condition for quality, but also comparing results with historical data, examining customer and tenant feedback, and evaluating employee performance against set standards are all part of the evaluating task. This is a field that's being groomed in the bigs. It's the infield is often dragged with several screens multiple times during a game. It's just part of the process. And then you've got at the local high school fields where a worker is lining the field with white paint before a game. And even in the off season, there's stuff to do at the field. So having a process and a plan for that is something that's important. And then making sure to tarp the field off to keep the rain off and is especially important to keep everything in place. So a lot of work that has to be done. So in summary, a well-developed and well-funded maintenance program enables a facility to keep sufficient supplies to remain attractive to users and patrons. However, a facility that looks good but does not have a good maintenance program will not survive. Equipment and structures that are not taken care of will stop functioning. So to prevent this, a facility needs to allocate appropriate funds, develop and staff a maintenance department and program, and evaluate the results. Thank you guys. I'll talk with you again a little bit later. We'll be talking about more of the maintenance audit. And so I look forward to talking to you soon. You guys have a great day. Hope you're doing well.